Hey friends, especially Mr. Pullman. I'm Connor Abel, and we're here to discuss a little bit about moral development. Moral development had its origins when Lawrence Kohlberg experimented on students ages 3 to 16, with some in their 20s and some in their 30s. He picked these ages because this is mainly the time when people progress throughout their life in terms of maturity and their development in their bodies as well as their minds. He outlined 6 basic stages that one can progress through without their lives. They're split into 3 tiers, two of each within each tier. The first tier is the pre-conventional stage, in which people are individualistic in their approach to moral development, as well as they only care about the consequences that come with their actions. The second tier, stages 3 and 4, is the conventional stage in which people care about the people around them and their actions and how they affect those that they care about. The third stage is stages 5 and 6, in which is called the post-conventional approach, which people care about the society and the welfare of those around them. This is a stage that most people do not necessarily gain through their lives, but that is seen throughout many people. Now that we have a little background on the stages, let's go in depth. Let's take a walk. Tier 1 is the pre-conventional method. It starts with stage 1, which is based on punishment. The kids in this stage are usually from ages 3 to 6, and they only care about the punishments that ensue with their actions. This means that they think that punishments are absolute and that they can't be reasoned with at all. So if someone were to steal something for a moral reason, all they would say is, I can't do that. I'm gonna get punished. I'm gonna go to jail. There's no reasoning behind it. Stage 2 moves into a little bit more in-depth version. These kids are usually 6 to 8, and they have basic reasons behind trying to avoid punishment. They don't want to go to jail, sure, but they also have a little bit more, background as to why their actions might be immoral or moral, and they can elaborate a little bit more than stage 1. Although they're
What's going on, friends? Connor went to the bathroom to take a potty break. I'm gonna pick up where he left off. Tier 2 consists of stages 3 and 4 in moral development. When somebody goes through stage 3, usually in their early teens, it's based around what's right must be done. So if it's for the better of the good, then that decision must happen. For example, let's say a man has a dying wife. That wife needs a certain drug to live, but the man can't afford the drug, so he might steal it, which is not morally correct, obviously, but it's for the betterment of the good. Let's move on to stage 4. Stage 4 usually occurs in adolescence, which is ages, it depends, but let's say 14 to 22. In this stage, similar to stage 1, it's based on consequences. But the difference is that in stage 4, we have a more developed mindset, so we have the ability to control our actions, we have our own motivations, our own desires, even if we know if it's not necessarily the right thing to do. For example, we have responsibilities such as following speed limits, law enforcement, other authority, but our motivations control what we do. So if we have the desire to break those laws, then that's what we're gonna do.
What's up, friends? Back from the bathroom. Wash my hands because it's morally correct. Let's move on to Tier 3, social values. Tier 3 consists of stages 5 and 6. Stage 5 is a social contract, which is created by John Locke. This consists of people do things in order to create the benefit for others and the respect for laws. They have individual rights and they act upon these in order to ensure that the society gets the benefit. Stage 6 is a little bit similar, however, it encompasses the world as a whole. It encompasses yourself as well, and these people, they focus on what is right for the world and all the cultures that surround it, as well as what is best for yourself as well. This is the highest stage, and Kohlberg even kind of nixed it towards the end because no one really ever reaches this stage very often.
Now that we have awareness on each of the stages, let's go interview some fools. In order to test Parsons' moral development, we're gonna ask him a few questions. Question 1. You're involved in a 2-car car crash on your way to work one morning, and you accidentally hit and kill a pedestrian. As you get out of your car, you're intercepted by a tearful woman who seems to think that she's the one who hit the pedestrian. You're not sure why she thinks she hit the person, but she is convinced. There's only you, the woman, and the person you hit on the road. There are no witnesses. You know that Whoever is deemed responsible will probably serve life in prison. What do you do?
It's really life in prison? Even if it's an accident? I mean, I think based on my morals, I think I would convince the police that I hit the person just because I've never been one to lie, and I know that's wrong, and I know, obviously it was an accident, so it was like nothing more that I could do. So I think I would just say that I did it and not let her take the fall.
What will you do?
I'm not trying to go to jail for life, so I'd probably just be like, yeah, you hit him. It was bad. It was really bad. I'd have to.
I think naturally everyone wants to say that they would be honest, but I think in that moment I'd probably first be saying if there's any way anyone would know that I did that, so like if we're near an intersection or something, is like there a camera or anything like that. But honestly, I think I would tell the truth. Like, I'd call the cops, and then I don't think there's any way I can avoid that it was me, because like any evidence would probably show it was me.
What? Why do I have to go to jail? I would tell the truth. Like that would plague me for the rest of my life anyway. Right. Like having done that, but then also lying about it would be even worse. So I would definitely tell the truth.
You tell the truth?
Yeah.
All right.
Second question. You're walking in the city behind someone dressed in expensive coats and a diamond watch. Clearly, they're well off in life. However, they drop a $20 bill in front of you without noticing. Do you let the person know that they dropped it, or do you keep it for yourself?
I feel like I would probably give it back to him, because like it's only $20. It's not like if it was like $1,000, maybe I'd keep that. But $20, it's not worth like being an asshole.
Okay.
Do you let the person know, even though they're wealthy?
Yes. Yeah. I would grab it and give it to them. Hopefully, I could catch up with them.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so especially if they're not that far ahead of me, I can give it back to them.
Right.
I would definitely do that.
I'd probably just let them know that they dropped the 20. Hopefully they're nice and they give it to me, but yeah, I think I'd have to tell them that they lost their money, so it's not right just to take that.
I definitely would take it.
Now I'll summarize the data that we got from the speakers in the order that they spoke. The first speaker, Alec Meister, could be labeled in stage 2 of the moral development. He knows that what he did was wrong when he chose not to tell the authorities that he hit the pedestrian, but he's simply just trying to avoid the punishment. He did elaborate as to why he did not choose to tell them, which is why he's placed in stage 2 instead of stage 1. The second speaker, Mrs. Schmidt, chose to tell the authorities that she did the deed, and she also gave back the money to the wealthy person. She elaborated well upon her reasoning, and she was not afraid of the consequences. Thus, she could be placed in stage 5 of the moral development category. Jake Parsons could be placed in stage 5 because he based his principles upon the fact that he would take the consequence out of respect of the justice system, and he also elaborated on the point that what he did was something that he'd wish someone else would do for him if he were in that situation, which is the golden rule. Finally, our last speaker, Amy, brought up the fact that even if someone were to lie about hitting the pedestrian, there would most likely be enough evidence against her when the authorities showed up. She was afraid of the punishment, but she also wanted to do what was moral in terms of the other person as well as the justice system. Therefore, her moral development is closest to the 4th stage of the progression.
Also, she has a great personality.